So today is September the 2nd, 2021, and I just wanted to make this video for myself to remind myself why I'm doing this. Anytime I need to come back and remind myself, I just wanted to have a video representation of why I decided to start to share what it is that I do with the world. So right now, I am feeling internal joy, internal happiness, and internal peace. I wake up every morning excited to get out of the bed, to pursue my work, to live life. And it hasn't always been that way. I had a dramatic shift in my consciousness, in my being in 2013. And I wanted to really figure out how to love myself radically, how to accept myself radically, how to take these things that I didn't necessarily enjoy about myself or the mistakes that I made and integrate them or transform those experiences into something that I love about myself, or at least take those situations that wasn't necessarily ideal and learn something from them, so therefore they wouldn't go to waste. So I started reading books, I started journaling, I got some therapy, I started working on myself diligently every single day, making sure that I healed from all of the things that was going on, because ultimately I think we all want peace and happiness in this world. We pursue it in different ways that we think will bring it to us, but we all want peace and happiness. And I know I did not have that at that moment. I had, from the moment I woke up, I had mental chatter, negative self-talk. I would catastrophize, I would fortune tell all day. One bad thought would lead to another. And I would not want to get out of the bed. I would not want to socialize. I would not want to do anything, because in my mind, it was just so much just chatter all the time that I couldn't focus. I had no clarity. I couldn't even understand like how I was feeling about life at the moment. So I thought, like, it's time to go ahead and organize your internal world, to figure out what is going on, to pull out the things that you no longer need, to heal what is broken. Well, not really broken, because you can't be broken, but heal what you think is damaged. I also wanted to shine a light on my shadow side. So here it is. That was in 2013, and now it's 2001. And I can tell you that although the work that I did was hard, I had days that I had to face myself, that, face things about myself that I did not want to do. And I had days that it was pure joy to look at myself. So just doing the work of the two promoted healing and growth and development, to the point where 8 years later, I wake up with so much joy, so much happiness, so much peace. I'm excited to get up. I'm excited to get out of the bed to win the day. I'm excited to go and do the work to grow and develop. Even though I know that at moments it can be painful, pulling up those roots so that they don't continue to grow. I know that the fruit on the other side is so much better. So I would wake up now, even now, I wake up and I do the work every single day to heal, even if it's just healing from yesterday, even if it's just healing from a negative thought that I had today. I do the work. And I think the problem, or not necessarily the problem, but as an observation, I looked around and I realized that a lot of people spend 20, 30, 40, 50 years trying to chase peace and happiness in whatever way that, they were taught, and avoiding the main way, which is to get to a destination is easier to go through, instead of, walking around, avoiding it, taking detours. It's better just to go through it. Even though it may be more painful to go through it, you come out on the other side. So I went through it, and I realized that a lot of people are scared to go through it, but going through it yield the very result that you want, even though it may be painful going through it. And looking around, I realized a lot of people just refuse to do it because it's painful. And many of us may never obtain the happiness and peace that we seek, which for me was hard to deal with. It was a little bit of survivor's remorse, because I wake up every day happy, peaceful, and I have that joy. I look in the mirror and I feel so grateful for my experience, feel so grateful for life and the people that I have around me, that sometimes I just break out in tears because I just can't believe that I'm having such an authentic experience, that I'm loving myself this way, that I have the peace and joy that people been chasing their whole life to get. And I arrived at it at 35. And so it feels a little bit, dirty that I feel happiness and joy when the whole world is in pain, when the whole world has anxiety, when the whole world isn't happy, when the majority of people will never find the happiness and peace that they seek. I felt dirty for arriving at it at 35. I felt like, how are you having these deep self-love and self-acceptance experiences, and many people will never have these experiences? Is it real, or are you pretending? Are you forcing yourself to be this way? Are you really feeling these feelings? Do you deserve to feel this? There's people out here who worked harder. This is what they wanted. They didn't get it and you got it. Is that fair? Is that right? And so, like, every day I will feel dirty and ashamed for being happy. And I would go out in the world and I would be happy. And people would just look at me and give me dirty looks for being happy. And it just made me feel dirty and shameful that I could, be so happy among all the chaos in the world. And I'll never forget, one day I was at work and I just heard everybody around me whispering. And I'm just my happy self. I'm just, doing my work, enjoying myself, practicing my stress management tools. And finally, one of my coworkers came to me and said, "How can you be so happy when you see what's going on in the world?" And I'm confused because, again, part of stress management is doing the things that make you happy in a day. So the things that do not make you happy, you stay away from. And I learned maybe 10 years ago that watching the news every day or watching the news in general doesn't make me happy. So I stay away from it. So I'm unaware about the things that's going on in the world. The people around me will tell me if it's big enough for me to know. So around this time is when they were storming the White House, and people were so distraught about them storming the White House. And after hearing the news, for me, I just went right back to what I was doing. It was disturbing to hear, but it's out of my control. And I decided that anything that is out of my control, I no longer give my attention to. I do not worry about it, because worrying about it or giving it attention does not change the desired outcome if you cannot control it. So I let it go and went back to my, happy world. And they wasn't necessarily happy that I did not feed into what was going on in the world at the time. So I went back to, the things that made me happy. And for my break that particular day, I was outside hula hooping, and it just disgusted people. And so then I began to think, like, if you feel so bad for having what they want and they're disgusted by you, why should you feel bad? Because ultimately you obtain what it is that you want, and it really has nothing to do with what they want. And if they're not coming to you to try to figure out how you did it, then why would you allow them to stop you from feeling, happiness, peace, and joy? So I decided that I would no longer apologize for being happy. I would no longer apologize for feeling self-love and self-acceptance, for loving myself, and no longer feel bad that I, obtain something so early that people really want. And I started to think, like, it's so sad that people may never feel this feeling, and it is, really easy to get to this feeling in the sense of, compared to what you're doing in this world to try to derive at happiness, peace, and joy. It's easier to do the internal work to arrive at peace, joy, and happiness. So I started thinking, like, maybe I can share two things: the result of the peace, joy, and happiness with the world in a way that will make them want to come to me and ask, like, what are you doing? What are you doing to make you so happy, so peaceful, so joyous? And for me to be able to share. And the second part of that was for um, me to realize that it's a shared experience, and just like their misery rubs off on me, my happiness can rub off on them. And so I can counter the misery in the world by being my happy, peaceful, joyous self. And so I stopped, again, like I said, I stopped feeling dirty about being peaceful and happy. And I stopped caring if other people felt like I shouldn't be peaceful or happy or joyous. I just decided to be authentic and live my life. And then it came to the point of realizing this is a shared experience. So should you share those things or those tools, tips, tricks, and techniques that you use to get you to this point of happiness, peace, and joy? And then I had a moment of, okay, if I go to share these solutions with the world, that means that I open myself up. And if I open myself up, will the world on a grander platform like YouTube, not just in my everyday life, but if I open myself up to the world or to YouTube world, will the people who are miserable outnumber me and steal my peace and joy and happiness? And so I sat with this for a long time because I realized that I have something that is priceless. It can't be bought. And every day I experience it as priceless. Do I really want to be vulnerable and open myself up to the world where people who don't experience what I experience and who are miserable in their everyday life go to try to take it from you? Can they take it from me? Can they take my happiness? Can they take my joy? Can they take my peace? And then I realized, like, yes, they can try. And I can give them the permission to do that. Or I cannot. And I can still go out and live my purpose and share the tools and tips and tricks and techniques that people need to manage their stress, to arrive at happiness, joy, and peace. Regardless of the consequences, I realize that I have the power and I have the control to not allow the misery to get into my being while still serving people at the same time. I don't want to be selfish and have something that is so priceless that everybody can obtain and keep it to myself because I'm afraid that if I share it, somebody can break it or destroy it or steal it. Instead, doing the work on myself helped me to realize that I can't be broken. It can't be stolen. It can't be taken. Only if I give the permission for people to do those things. And I don't give the permission. And so in order for me not to be selfish, in order to improve this shared experience, I am going to be open and vulnerable and put myself out there and put my happiness and joy and peace on display for the world to know that it is obtainable. And the compromise in that is, if it becomes too overwhelming, I've made a promise to myself that I can always just step away and renew and then go back to serving when I'm mentally well. Other than that, I don't want to be the person who has arrived at a place and arrived alone, considering that it's a shared experience. I would love many people, the world, if possible, to come and join me at happiness, peace, and joy, because it's a feeling that every person deserves. You don't deserve it for any other reason than the simple fact that you were born. It's nothing that you can do or not do to make you more likable or lovable. You are already loved. You are already born lovable. Anything more that you do does not take away from the love. Anything more that you do can add, but it definitely does not take away. And for me, I feel like this is my life work to go and teach people how to manage their everyday stress and stressors and do the actual hard work so they can arrive at the life that they really want. There are a lot of rich people who do not have happiness, peace, and joy. And then there are a lot of poor people, dirt poor, who already have happiness, peace, and joy. So I think it's a matter of shifting our perspective on what we think it is, because if the pursuit itself is not happiness, peace, and joy, it will not bring you happiness, peace, and joy. You cannot arrive at something that you haven't been practicing, because your future is a representation of what you've been practicing today. So I hope that helps. And this is just for me. I wanted to remind myself why I'm doing this. So anytime things get tough, I can come back and realize, like, you already have, what you wanted to obtain in this world. Now, the only thing more you're doing is mastering yourself so you can have more of happiness, peace, and joy. And no one external or no one outside of you can take that from you. You know who you are, you know where you're going, and you know how you feel. And even though you will have moments of survival remorse where you feel unworthy to feel so happy in a world of misery. And even though you will have the imposter syndrome of, are you really this happy? How can you be this happy? How can just knowing yourself and loving yourself through all your shadows, your disappointments, your rejections, how could that bring a state of peace and happiness and joyous and calm? I just realized that there's nothing to gain. There's nothing to lose. The only thing to walk towards is just being. It's nothing more to do. Doing is not going to help you arrive at peace, love, and joy. Being will help you arrive there. And there's nothing wrong with taking some time from doing to just be, to reflect, to think, to unpack, to uncover, to unlearn, to get all of these negative feelings, toxic emotions, experiences out of you, to understand how they mold you, how those experiences molded you into the person you are today. How you react to things is a representation of, many things. 1, childhood. 2, the experiences that you have. And 3, the things that you were taught. So if you unpack your childhood, you get new experiences or go out of your way to bring in new experiences, and you unlearn or relearn or just get new information towards who and what you want to be, then that kind of just shift everything about what you're doing in a day and how you show up in a day. So loving yourself is a continual practice. It is a lifetime destination. It is something that I picked that is going to take me a lifetime to arrive at. My life goal is to master myself, and it's no way to master yourself until you know where you came from and where you're going. And I won't find that out until the end of my life. So I picked a long-term journey, and every day I wake up, I do what I'm supposed to do as far as unpacking the last day, setting my intentions for the day, and going about my day in a very positive, mindful, conscious type of way, looking for the opportunities to arrive. And if they don't arrive, to create them. Because a lot of times we're waiting for someone to come and save us, or we're waiting for an opportunity to drop in our lap when you can create them. You don't have to wait for that peace to come to you. You can create peace. You don't have to wait for joy to come to you or happiness to come to you. Create those things. The more you create them, the more you attract them. If you can create that energy, then you can attract that energy. But it's hard to attract the energy that you can't even create. So the first step is to start with creating the energy in your own life that you want. And then more of it will come to you. And as you're doing this life work and you're creating the energy that you want, you will start to see your life slowly change. And I go back and I think about 9 years ago, and I think about just in general what my mind was like 9 years ago, how I had constant chatter, how it was negative streams of thought, how I just would say negative things to myself. I would question my worth, my value, why I'm here. And then now, where I can go an entire day without something negative popping into my brain, without something negative popping into my brain. It can be, I may still have some sort of like thoughts that are not productive, but I would not say at this point that they're negative. Now, that's not every day. I have days where I have negative, days or negative moments or negative spirals, but for the most part, they just don't happen as often anymore. It's just more of distractions than anything, and then just me bringing back my brain to focus on what is important to me in the moment, and to focus on how to strengthen and deepen my experiences here so it can bring and produce more love, joy, and peace. So again, this is for me, but I hope it helps everyone. It is attainable in this lifetime, and it has nothing to do with how hard you work or the things that you do outside of like yourself or your personal experience. It has more to do with how you're thinking about yourself in reference to the world, how you're thinking about yourself in reference to relationships, how you're thinking about yourself in reference to your past. A lot of things in your past was out of your control, and you need to forgive yourself for that, and you need to take yourself out of the guilt or shame role that was produced from your childhood experiences, and turn it into a source of power to understand like, okay, I may not have enjoyed that particular thing that happened to me, but this is how I can change it from a negative into a positive and have it work for me. So everything that is happening in this world is not happening to you, it's happening for you, and it's a matter of perspective. So once you start realizing that the things of your past happen for you, you won't be so afraid to go back and unpack them and understand how those things made you who you are today. And you would not be afraid to do the work to adjust if you don't like the results that it produced today. So again, I know my purpose. I know why I'm here, and I'm going to continue to tell myself, that you have something beautiful, you have something special that you could keep to yourself, but that's selfish. It's a shared experience, and other people in this world deserve to arrive at happiness, joy, and peace. And if you have the tools and techniques to share, you should do so. You are not easily broken. You can't be broken. And they can't take anything away from you unless you allow them to. So I just wanted to give you this reminder. I just wanted to tell you that you got this, that you can go out and live your purpose. You can go out and change their lives and serve others without letting their being affect your being in a negative way. You can serve those who want your help and sidestep those who don't necessarily want it, but at least you're providing the information out there. You're leaving the breadcrumbs for someone if they want to figure out how to get to happiness, peace, and joy in this lifetime, which again is just about self-acceptance and self-love. The more you can find the beautiful things about your experiences, about yourself, about the people that you're around, the more love and peace and joy that you arrive at. The more you realize that there's nothing to lose and nothing to gain, the more peace and joy that you have. The more you realize that there's nothing more that you can do, or no way that you can mess up that is going to take away from your value or your worthiness, then you're more likely to go out and pursue the things that can help you heal and grow and be the person you want to be. So I am so grateful for myself for going through this journey. It's the best thing that I ever done for myself. And I will continue to tell people that, if you want to arrive at peace, love, and joy, it's through you. No one can add those things to you. No one can take them from you. It's just a matter of you doing the best for you, doing the work for you, doing it like you mean it, and loving doing it. And I hope that helps, and have a great day.